And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Victoria 3 as Great Qing. As I'm saying this, the dog has decided it probably wants to go outside. Let me offer it that opportunity. Dog says no. Dog's just looking at the door. Doesn't want to actually go out. And it's cold outside, so I'm not going to leave the door open. I'll let some time roll in the game here. So the things we should probably be building are the high-value stuff, or the stuff that builds fast. So like, there's an argument here to be building the wood, even though the wood isn't super in demand. Just because it builds real fast. Same sort of thing with coal and iron. No. In the middle of nationalizing a bunch of stuff, I don't want to have it nationalized by the Germans, preferably. Institutions, we got up to 3. We are moving to 4. I will need more government admin to get to 4 and 5. Okay, I'm going to deficit spend a little bit. Let's get the Dusty Gold Mines, because those are good. Let's get Lumbermills, where we've got all the unemployment that we could ever imagine. And this is the unemployment. This is not even the people working the subsistence farms. Okay. That's enough of a queue for the government side for the moment. Now, that'll, in theory, build pretty quickly. It's being slowed down a little bit due to the turmoil in a bunch of places. This is one reason not to let your radicals get up to 100 million. Okay, baking powder is done. That's usually a PM you can always turn on. It's just more sugar, more wheat, more groceries from all your food industries. So, that's good. And over in production, we're moving Steam Donkey, which is what we need for the specific company we want to do. Probably go to Pumpjacks next. Let's probably do that. And then maybe shift work. Police brutality. Sure. Well, drop the level way on. It'll just start going back up again. So we get the Russians to give up. I think we need to occupy a full state in Persia for the transfer. Oh, gotta occupy either the Persian capital or the Russian capital. Okay. So we need to get to there specifically. I can invest in them. Defensive pact. Sure, that works. The Ottoman financial sector is probably small enough. I don't mind they were investing in us either, but... We own only 75% of our economy right now. Rest is foreign-owned. Oh, so we're now winning the war. Okay. So obstinance is a new thing in this current patch. I haven't had to deal with before. Due to movements. So the Uzbeks want to be independent. Sadly, they don't have enough support to actually push for multiculturalism. I'd probably give in to them if I could. Okay, let's reduce the cost to import engines. Hopefully get some engines imported. Let's also build some government bureaucracy, because apparently we're short on that. Would like to get law enforcement 5 at least. And we can use that to also work down, or work up our taxation capacity so we get more taxes. What's the liberal movement want? Wants us to move off of censorship. Wants us to have some distribution of powers. But ideally prefer cultural exclusion. And if possible for us to move on to commercialized agriculture, which I kind of support there as well. So some of these we're in favor of, some of these we are opposed to. Sure. Lower the approval of the scholar officials. And we've got a modernizer here in the military. Although, you're not super helpful yet. You'd have to be in... You'd probably have to be a scholar official for you to be useful. That's what's going on there. Yeah, we've got 0 of those we can invite. Okay. That's the problem with being in China. You're the only source for your own agitators most of the time. Rifling? Okay. It's gonna make the rifle industry even less profitable. Although, requiring less people to be in it. Steam donkeys in 6 months. And then we'll establish typing mining company. As Steam Donkey has 5 coal mines in either Beijing or Hebei. Okay. And then this wants to build railways, which we want built at a lot of places. Coal mines, which are pretty productive. Give us tech speed, and then we can expand it if we have enough company charters to include iron mines and lead mines, and we can put in competition with the other one for trading companies. Although we probably won't do that. We'll probably just stick it to the mines. And we're kind of hoping that the existing company here is effectively buying up all our wood from us. Although it might not be doing the best of jobs at that. Okay, nice productive company. Suppose I could probably get another tax. 8.5 for opium? Yeah, not very much. And if you're wondering why I'm building up to 30, is the default economy of scale is 20, and we have mechanized workshops as another 10. So I'm trying to maximize the economy of scale in places where we're short taxation capacity first. Nope, one of our subjects is having a civil war. Okay. You don't necessarily need to send a lot to go fight the North Koreans here. Okay, so if I want to pick up the next one, I need more bureaucracy. Potential banking, so more minting's good. Lower the interest rate as well. So you're not happy because you're isolated from the market. I thought we gave you your own market as well. That should at least stop you from being isolated, yeah. There's steam donkeys, there we go. So companies... Oh, I forgot, I need those coal mines. Daisy. Let's build 8 coal mine, or build 5 coal mines in Beijing. Okay, we'll know when they're done because they're big in the queue. Oh, coal mines cost 400 construction. They used to cost 200. That's a new change. I've sworn they were 400 in the past. Or 200 in the past. 400 makes them twice as expensive. Makes them a little less worth building then. Well, makes them less worth to build for the construction price. They're still pretty valuable buildings. Okay, so now they're built. Now, instead of it being down in this lower attainable company line, it should be up here in the establishable. It is. So we're going to establish you. High-paying manning company. We're going to give you industry rights. I don't have any company charters. We'll get more company charters at some point. We'll give you those industry rights. So joint stock companies gave us companies, but not charters. Okay. We'll get one chartered there, although we'll get another company. There's another company. Get fewer charters than I was expecting. Although we're getting a decent number of companies in here. Max company, max company, max company. Okay. Can I pull some of the chairs off of this? Yeah, let's pull the monopoly rights off. We'll leave it with its industry rights, because we want to work those industries. And then we can hand that over to iron mine and lead mine, which is what we want. Oh, can only get one. And I'd rather it be iron mine anyway. Okay. I can give it trade rates, but let's not bother. We'll temporarily give it can I check ownership by industry? That's a good question. Who owns most of my iron? So you can see how much is owned, but not what's owned here. This is not something you necessarily need to care about, I suppose. I'm caring about it, but it's not necessary for it to be cared about. So right now, this is all the stuff the government owns. Non-Qing owners, okay. So we do have a regional company ownership. For various companies. Although I'm not too opposed about them building us in our country. So we can't fix those ones at least. Although I could see any of them... None of them appear to care about iron or coal. Yeah, so we got some pretty... Oh. Let's sort by located in Qing. I don't need to know about the stuff in Kentucky. Okay, so most of our coal does actually appear to be foreign-owned. Our iron, less so, although it is still kind of the case for the iron. So if we put monopoly rights on coal, our company will slowly start to buy out the foreign coal companies. Let's look. It hasn't improved very much. It's hoping to improve by quite a bit. The answer to that is no. Although in some ways I think our income has. That's the Korean Modernist Revolt. Ooh. Britain versus the Ottomans. I should definitely side on the British side if I'm going to join this war. Although they may let me stay independent, non-picking side here. Two more years and we can subjugate them. Oh, is that independent India? I think that's independent India. India is, in fact, independent. Okay. So, England dropped the ball. We can put that back pattern together. Obviously, India is our rival. And I want Indian stuff. Question is, do I outgun India? And I suspect the answer is probably no. Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. Which... Here we go. Okay, so prestige-wise, we're behind North German Federation, although we are ahead of India. So the Indian army might actually be quite weak. 75 from power production. $330. Yeah, so it's probably pretty weak. Do I have plain or interests in Indochina? I do. I don't have much in India, so I'd just be picking away at the edges. Yeah, okay. So say, could go after the Shah states, for example. Okay. Open hearth, so that's going to be more steel. Industries are profitable, but that doesn't mean I need to be subsidizing them if that's the case. Although I will leave the subsidy on for the gold mines. Okay. So we've almost got the economy balanced again. Which probably does mean it is time to be expanding construction. We fixed the problem, time to remake the problem, right? And the long-term solution to a lot of our short-term problems is build, build, build. Although that's not the solution to the dog pestering me. The dog pestering me is, well, probably giving into its demands to get more treats. But Cindy does not need to be constantly consuming treats. Drop the export tariff on wood. And do the same to hardwood. We just built a lot of these lumber mills, so that'll help encourage them to be somewhat profitable. And allow other people to buy them from us. The Twitch chat saying, well, she might want to be constantly consuming treats. I know I would. Yeah, well. That's the problem. I need to keep treats to be a somewhat conservative feeding process, because otherwise she doesn't eat her doesn't consume her pills properly. So, and she's already had what, I think 2 to get her to take the pills, and a third one just because she was giving me the puppy dog eyes later. So yeah. Do more explosives, and we'll do more explosives in the mines. We might still need more explosives after that, but yeah, explosives would be profitable to build, but don't need to rush to do that. What we'll probably need to do is, when we get Pumpjacks, as much as it looks like we might be doing this for oil wells, and we might be doing it for oil wells, to be fair, is automatic irrigation. So we're going to need to be building engines. Exploding demand. Explosive factor throughput release. What are we going to mandate? Should duke up the last advanced research. That frees up enough government admin. So we can do the law enforcement tier 3. So we're almost done with all the wood. I should start working on engines afterwards. We've got a shortage of about 800. We're currently importing another 100, so there's like 900 engine shortage. We don't want to be importing. We'll put 10 there, 10 there, an extra 10 there. Because as soon as we get the next tech done, we're going to be engines. We need to be engines up the wazoo. We start to pump jack up all the plantations. Oh, and they've officially become Afghanistan. Subjugate in just under a year. So I think you're the two-state one where the British have a claim on one half and we have a claim on the other. Well, we don't have a claim on the other. Indy has a claim on both. Although I recognize the British one more than the Indian one, to be fair. Or so the other one is to go after Dainam. Dainam does make some sense. Annexing the whole country is a bit aggressive. Yeah, let's take the northern portion. Great Britain will side with us. A couple of the regional miners will side with them, but none of the majors. So that's good. Then I am going to ask, revoke your claim. I don't know which one's which, and this is not giving me a good idea which is which. Okay, so that's the south, that's the north. We definitely want the one in the north. Less sure about the south one. Yeah, let's not bother with the south one yet. I'm gonna make that primary. Because that'll allow me to colonize that chunk. I'll also get a connection with our protectorate here, which is good. At some point I should build up the Chinese Navy. Our 4 boats. Does not make a big difference if it was actually called upon to do anything serious. And they back down. Okay. So, we can go ahead and colonize that bit, because that's what we negotiated for. It says I could start something with India. Like a liberate country. Ask for, like, liberate Burma. In theory, everyone would stay out of this. Although I'm looking at India, and that's a bigger army than I really want to reliably fight. We need to get upgraded to the new troops before we take a fight with India. That's what I'm deducing from that math. Let's get some more construction. Yep, first time Twitch chatter saying hello. Hello back. Sorry, I'm not the... I get focused on the game sometimes a little bit too much. I don't read the Twitch chat most reliably. Okay, there's sports. Means we're probably getting pretty close to having all the tier 2... No, we have all the tier 2s in society. Yeah, that opens up some options over here. Go mutual funds for commercialized agriculture. Go corporations for public health. Run into human rights for old age pensions. That'd be one way to mitigate the damage occurring from our unemployment crisis. Pumpjacks in 7 months. You survived the pre-roll. I don't think I have the pre-roll on by default. Although I think, well, I've got the ad set to automatic, I suppose. So it might be if we haven't had an ad recently enough, it'll put the pre-rolls on. Metropolitan Police. Get radical protection from movements. At some point, we probably need to get off of some of the old laws, like the subjecthood. Pretty good support for moving to cultural exclusion. Ideally, we'd want multiculturalism, but a little bit of opposition to that. How goes the China game? It's going pretty well. We've managed to get past both the Opium Crisis and the Heavenly Kingdom Crisis, while still maintaining 100% unity. Which is basically succeed at not losing the Opium War, and succeeding to retake the Heavenly Kingdom. So, outside of the Boxer Rebellion, we've pretty much succeeded all the crises that have happened. And of course, we're recognized power. Although apparently we're not growing as fast as some of the other recognized power. Both the North German Federation and the United States have overtaken us. Although that might be to the fact that they have armies and navies that are vaguely modern. Whereas we've got 4 boats. And an army that's fighting like the Napoleonic troops. It's a big army, just a bit backwards at this point. Okay, there's Pumpjacks. So that's what we're going to start activating. Twitch chat's asking, nice. Also, God, why is India a thing? Because apparently the UK dropped the ball, and we now have an independent India. And yeah, naval power production, at least if you want to be high in the prestige, is really powerful. And of course, having no boats is not great naval power for. Also, we could swap to skirmish, but we're currently online. And I should probably do the swap soon. To do the swap, I'm gonna need, what, it's 1 ammo per soldier. It's 201 there. 314. 334. So we need enough ammo to supply 334. I think we get, it's saying 50, but I think we actually get 80 from these. Yeah, the upgrade to 80. No, upgrade to 90. So let's just grab 5 of those. Put them at the beginning of the queue. Well, actually, leave them at the end of the queue. That'll be fine. Smash the upgrade all the infantry button. And then we'll continue contemplating engines in the meantime. Okay, so I have a subsidy on imports. So in theory, more should slowly be imported. Of course, we have a shortage of 1,000. Okay, so I should just be building more engines. 25 levels, probably. Twitch chat's asking, does that mean you're doing an isolation trade game? No. We're on protectionism. In my case, there's a lot of situations where I'm looking... I import stuff to handle PM upgrades, and then I like to back build in the country to try to deal with unemployment. We've got 23 million unemployed people, so factories take a lot to build, but we do want to employ the poor Chinese man who needs a job. And we're still on legal guardianship, so we could even have like 15%. We could almost double the workforce, right? The women have to stay home in the house because we don't have jobs for the men. It's kind of the problem we're at right now. Okay, let's turn the Pumpjack job on. Sends engines to the moon, and then we turn around and make the engines. Back into our puppet. Once you get low enough, I'll probably retake the market from you. Are you independent or a puppet? You are in fact actually independent. Okay. Let's diplomacy with you. Oh, you're not independent. You're just a protectorate for someone. Okay. Probably Siam. You're probably still Sultanate or Siam. That's where you start. No. No, you're under Siam. Also very rebellious. Oh, you got tributaries. So you got 3 tributaries still. Okay. Oh, and you're colonizable. And you're colonizable, but... to colonize them, I need the territory from Viet. Okay. You can be subjugated, so let's subjugate you. Group fertilizers, cool. Okay, looks like we're gonna need even more engines. Let's do another 25 levels. In the Jiangxi, we're gonna need some railroads. Which, of course, use railroads. Or use the engines that we're building. Oh, interesting. Sure, we can probably do that. Oh, I don't have the tech yet for it. Oh, and I'm not researching stuff. Of course I'm not. Okay. Let's do human rights. Mutual funds, corporatism. Forgetting to do tech. It's not good to do that. They changed to the... Well, actually, I think I got a couple glitched things up here. Available decisions. Remove the ban on opium. Yeah, we should probably remove the ban on opium. I think we've lost the... Yeah, it's time to remove the ban on opium. There we go. So that's glitched. And that's glitched. And that's glitched. Which is probably whenever you're not teching anything is showing up, is hiding the warning. United States side the French Republic, we're being called in because we are the British ally. Is there anything I want off of the French / Americans? Guessing that's a protectorate, not a subject. Okay. Although I could get Tunis. Surprised it's not showing Tripitania. Or is someone else already asking for Tripitania? That would make sense as well. Ah, that's what the British said. The British are like, yeah, no, you can't ask for the same thing we're asking for. That doesn't compute. Okay. Oh, it's going to be 25 or less. So that's probably leaning towards taking Uruguay. Because that'll get me a land spot in South America if I want to get up to stuff down there. Of course, probably the end of the war, that means I'm going to have to land Uruguay if I'm going to do that. We're just going, is Russia scary this game, though? Russia hasn't been scary, although Russia hasn't been scary because I've been allied to Great Britain. So that's been dealing with a lot of the fear factor associated with Russia. The Chinese army is also bigger than the Russian one. So we're sort of being able to compensate for quality with quantity. At this point, I'm probably running the same quality as the Russian army as well. Russians probably on skirmish infantry. That is a language I am not literate in, sadly. Sorry. Twitch chat. But yeah. The other way around, if you're playing as Russia, Russia definitely can handle the Great Qing pretty easily. But that's because the Qing's army is usually more backwards than mine is, at least. Russian. Okay. Hello. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sit on the sideline here. Well, actually, I'm not sitting on the sideline because I've been called in, right? So it's... Do I want a war goal? That's the question. The answer, I think, might be no. Ooh, or it could get to nationalize all the buildings. So as long as I control all my territory, America has to give me all the ownership back. Yeah. Oh, we're short on government admin. Fix that. Government admin. Place of the worst taxation capacity. That doesn't have a full 10 or a full 30. Government admin. And I think Twitch shares are now either saying hi to each other or saying hi to me, saying hi to them. Okay, so that fixed the government capacity. Human rights, in theory, is going to let us pick up multiculturalism. Might be one way to deal with this revolt. Not sure how much support we're going to have for it. That's a slightly different question. We do have a enlightened royalist ruler. So... and we're swapping off of subjecthood. So I think the only... well, people are going to be opposing it. Lots of people are going to be opposing it. Although most of them aren't in government. And scholar officials... okay, so most of them, except for the real folk, won't actually be vocally opposing it. So it might be possible to pass it. Okay, look at the time. We've got an hour on the recording for YouTube. We got an hour on the recording for YouTube. Trying to read the Twitch chats, which is sometimes hard when they're in a different language. So we're gonna put a part break in here. We're gonna continue recording during the stream. We're gonna do one more recording before we bring the stream to an end. But I'm going to take a short break to check up on the dog. So if you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break to check up on the dog and probably try to get the ads out of the way while I'm taking that break. So you shouldn't get ads for most of the rest of the recording session. So until the next part, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye for now.